Hi, and welcome to Raz Reviews. Today, I'm going to try to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home without spoiling it. Is there such a thing? Can I review Spider-Man without spoiling it? It's the question of the day. Spider-Man No Way Home is the third installment in the Sony MCU Spider-Man movies, and the story takes place right after Far From Home, where Peter Parker's identity has been revealed and now he's trying to deal with the consequences of that, and he goes to Dr. Stephen Strange for help with a spell that goes awry and opens up the multiverse. So without spoiling it, the movie is... It's really hard to talk about this movie without spoiling it. I mean, but I'm gonna try because, I need to make videos and get some subscribers, I have a channel and stuff. I work hard on it. Please like my video and share it. Help me. Look, there's been an insane amount of speculation and hype for this movie ever since the trailer dropped, and it showed us that villains from the different cinematic universes of Spider-Man and the different movies of Spider-Man are gonna show up in this movie. This opened up a whole can of worms and a lot of questions about who's gonna be in it and who's not gonna be in it, and the speculation is nuts. And everybody wants to know the answer to these questions, and at the same time they don't wanna know. So I'm going to try and talk about it without spoiling it as much as I can. That I promise you. And even if I mess up here, I'll fix it in post. I got so hyped before this movie came out that I'm like, that's it. I'm gonna be disappointed. It's the third installment, and these installments in Spider-Man have had problems in the past of trying to shove too much in there. And I was really worried that this movie is gonna be that. It's gonna be a case of too many things. And I didn't think they would pull it off, and somehow they did. And it was awesome. Spider-Man No Way Home is great. And it's not for the reasons you think. It's not because of any of the cool stuff that happens or might happen. It's none of the stuff that we've been speculating about. It's because it was made with love. This film was made with an amount of love and adoration and respect for the Spider-Man comics, the Spider-Man games, the Spider-Man movies, the Spider-Man universe. It's such a great Spider-Man movie and such a great Peter Parker movie. Maybe one of the best Peter Parker-centric stories that I've seen on screen. Despite the movie having these big plot lines and the multiverse and all this kind of stuff, you'd think that the movie would really focus on those things, but it doesn't. What it is about is Peter Parker dealing with being Spider-Man for real, dealing with the real consequences of that. None of the kiddish school, high school stuff, real consequences and real moral and social and personal dilemmas. And Tom Holland brings a fantastic performance in this film, his best yet as Spider-Man. And that's why the movie works. It's because it's about the character, not what's happening to him, but the why it's happening and what it means and how it affects his personality. And that's what's so cool about it, because it's so easy to get lost in the blockbusterness of it all. And don't worry, it is a blockbuster. Great action sequences, great visual, cool stuff, awesome moments. I connected with this movie emotionally a lot more than I thought I would. And as a Spider-Man movie, it did something really cool that we've actually haven't seen, which is watching Spider-Man mature, actually come of age. Like, Tom Holland might not be everybody's favorite Spider-Man, but I like him a lot. He is my favorite, and because he's the closest to the classic comic book Spider-Man, he's very kiddish, he's very, awkward and goofy in a lovable way. Like, he's Peter Parker from the comics, But then again, he went through so much over-the-top things, especially, Infinity War and Endgame and so on. He still acted like a kid, even until Far From Home. But this movie puts him in situations where he has to grow the hell up. And it plays into his dynamic with everybody around him. They also grow, they also mature, and their dynamic becomes a lot more interesting and a lot more complex, and I really, really like that. Now, of course, as you saw from the trailer, there are a lot of references and callbacks to previous Spider-Man films, but what I really liked about bringing those villains, that it wasn't done just for fan service. It was fan service with a purpose. It really served the story, and it was not done in a way that I expected, to be honest. The roles of Doc Ock and Goblin here and Electro were much different than how I thought they would be. They weren't as one-dimensional as they could have been in a Sony Spider-Man movie. And that was honestly a very pleasant surprise. Some of the villain characters had more to do than others. Some were kind of sidelined and were waiting on standby. Some characters in the film also got that standby treatment. This is some of the stuff that wasn't perfect. And this movie is fun. Fun. And that was another thing I was worried about. I thought that, it's going to be a little too jokey. Some of the Marvel films are becoming a little too jokey, especially from the trailer. A lot of the jokes in the trailer were kind of like... But as a matter of fact, in the context of the film, they worked very well. And I laughed a lot more than I thought that I would. But also, I was emotionally affected a lot more than I thought I would be. So this movie was kind of an emotional roller coaster for me, to be honest. Just a lot of... Some people might feel that tonal shift may be a little extreme. I've only seen it once, and from the first time, man, what a ride. I mean, I need to like meditate or something, because that was a lot. Another thing that stood out to me that I can talk about was the soundtrack. I think this is my favorite soundtrack from these Watts Spider-Man films. It was really, really good. This movie really delivered for me on a lot of fronts, especially the story front. Visually, it's fantastic. Action sequence is really cool. Sometimes it got very gritty and very hardcore, a lot more hardcore than, again, I'm used to. I really liked some of the cinematography. There were some beautiful shots in there. Some of the CGI was... Look, at the end of the day, all I can tell you is that this film was fantastic. I had a great time with it. It's very easy to sit there and want things to be in it or not to be in it. And at the end of the day, you can't really judge these things without the context of the film. And in the context of the film that was presented to me, I loved everything that was in it. I loved everything that they did. And I really, really enjoyed it. And I connected with it, which was very important. So for me, I highly recommend it. If you are a fan of Spider-Man, you are insane if you don't watch this film. So you gotta go watch it. I need time to process it, and I definitely need to watch it again. But at the end of the day, I'm going to give Spider-Man a 9 out of 10. Please try to be nice in the comment sections and try not to spoil. Try to spoiler tag in the discussion down there. I hope you guys survive the comment section. Please try not to spoil it for others. Be nice, be kinder to others. And of course, as always, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification button so you can see my videos as they come up. And don't forget to ask me what you'd like me to review for you next. See ya!